Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop, and today I have on the phone Tawanda Auston. She has been on numerous commercials, television commercials, movies, television shows, even done fashion shows, and so much more. Tawanda, welcome to the show.
Hello, Coop. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing today?
I can't complain at all.
All right. Now, Tawanda, like I said, you have done so much success in your career. It'll take more than the show to name everything that you have actually done. But let's give the audience a little something about you. Let's start from the beginning. Now, what made you pursue an acting career?
Well, actually, I didn't want to act at first. All I wanted to do was be on the runway. And then when I got with this agent, she was telling me, if you're going to do if you want to get paid, then you really want to get into acting because there's not much or many jobs where you really get paid doing modeling in North Carolina. And I realized that all of the jobs that I got paid really good was outside of North Carolina. So I decided, okay, let's give it a try. And my first acting experience was actually on the set of One Tree Hill. I didn't have any lines, but I did get the opportunity to see what it was all about. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And, from then I decided, okay, let's see how this acting thing goes. And I just started doing, different roles and different things. And, then I finally landed my role in Scorn. And prior to that, I was saying, okay, it's time for me to have at least a line, if it's nothing but stop. And didn't know that God was actually setting me up for a lead role where I had several lines. So that's basically how I started acting.
Wow. To God be the glory for all of that. I'm not going to lie to you. That's actually a big success jump because you were just looking for a small role and you end up getting the lead role in Scorn. And that right there is a success by itself. And I do want to congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Now, yes, anytime. Now, also at the same time, when you was actually, moving up in the ranks and you was actually going out for auditions and everything, who were some of the people that you met in the music and movie industry?
Well, I met actually Jennifer Hudson. When I met her, I didn't realize that it was Jennifer Hudson. I asked one of the other actresses, I was like, who is that girl? She looks familiar, but I can't really, figure out who she is. When she said Jennifer Hudson, I was like, oh, my gosh, this is crazy. Because I was really, looking for somebody else. Maybe, I don't even know, maybe somebody that I see all the time. But then I was like, wow. So, and she was very humble. I was actually sitting right beside her and didn't even realize that I was sitting beside her. I also met Dakota Fanning, and that was interesting because she has been acting ever since she was a little girl, and I think she is an awesome actress. Met Tyler Perry, Keisha Knight. Also, I have met, Victor Willis from The Village People. Al Thompson, and I'll just start right here. I can't think of everybody right on the, off the top of my head, but those are a few that I have met.
Well, that list right there is tremendous by itself, and that's one thing I say for anyone that's actually, trying to go to a rise of success. One thing that you have conquered, I can say, Ms. Austin, that a lot of people haven't done is when they actually go to a rise and they meet someone, a lot of people end up getting big-headed about it. And it seems like that your ego is still down to a normal level, and you're just cool and calm about it. And that's one thing I do applaud you about, because I have talked to you in the past, and you are one of the coolest women I met. You're really good with this. As far as it goes, you carry yourself well. Professional standards, you can't beat it, and it's hard to find that in people these days. And I want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that compliment. I definitely take it as a compliment. And, I mean, I look at it like, anybody can do it. So, I mean, I put my pants on the same way anybody else do, and that's the way I look at it when I meet other stars. I look at it like, okay, they put their pants on the same way I do. And, what God has for me, it is for me. So, what he has for somebody else may not be for me. So I'm not going to, knock that. But at the same time, we're all people, and we all can have it if it's meant for us.
That's very true. Very true. Now, as far as it goes for acting alone, how hectic is the schedule as far as it goes for acting?
I'll say it's very hectic. It's like having homework every single night. When I was filming Scorn, I would, film for the day, go home, and basically have homework, like study for the next day, because, I was rehearsing, trying to make sure that I had everything straight for the next day. And then it was sometimes, like, in between scenes, I would be studying for the next scene. So it's very hectic and fun, though, very fun. So, with anything, it's work, but it doesn't seem like work when it's fun. But very hectic.
Wow. Well, that's one thing I can say. A hectic schedule is hard for a lot of people to carry. Now, when you was actually studying for your lines, did you ever have a moment where you felt that this is too much to bear, or were you comfortable for the whole time?
I think I was comfortable for the most part. I've never, or I guess I can say I've always had a lot of things going on, especially once I realized what I want to do. I'm a very adventurous person. I like trying different things and, multitasking. So I always have, my schedule is always kind of hectic, I would say, because there's never a dull moment, to the point that my favorite thing to do now is nothing, because I'm always doing something. So whenever I get the opportunity and I have nothing to do, that is great.
Wow. And that sounds very relaxing. You don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about getting up, doing this or doing that. That's probably the most relaxing feeling ever. And, of course, it is. Now, let's get back to what we was talking about earlier. As far as it goes for the movies and the television commercials and the television shows, can you name some of them and go a little in depth with the shows that you have done and the commercials and the movies?
Well, the last thing that I have done is a short film, and it's called Sins of the Wicked. And I know you know about that because you actually played a part in that yourself. It haven't came out yet. The most major thing was Scorn, because I did, have the lead role. That was my first lead role, not only just a lead role, but the first time I actually had some lines. So that was very challenging at first because, like I said before, I didn't want to act, and a lot of my coaching came from just scene studies. And I have to thank Nick Dalmacy for working with me and giving me the opportunity to do it. I mean, considering it was my first movie, I think I did a wonderful job. But I know that, with that, I have learned a lot, and I can take it with me for everything else and, do even better the next time. I have also had opportunity to be on Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail, The Bleeding, Secret Lives of Bees, April Fool's Day. And then as far as commercials, I actually have a commercial that's out right now. It's a Myrtle Beach commercial. I've had about 3 people tell me that they have seen me on TV. So if you see some type of sea life or something like that and the girl looks like me, it probably is me. It's airing right now. I had somebody tell me like a month ago and then like a week ago. So I take it it's still airing. I haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely out there. And if you happen to go by a billboard and, going towards Myrtle Beach, you'll probably see me on that as well.
Wow.
Also, Charlotte Metro Credit Union, Coastal Federal Credit Union, and Clinton Family Dentistry. I have also been in some plays, and then I did Extreme Home Makeover. It was a fashion show, and that actually aired on ABC. And like I said, One Tree Hill was the first thing I've ever done, and I've done some industrials too for like different places like Wilson Medical Center. Where when the employees come in, they actually get to see industrials or just people for different things.
Right. And that right there, I believe that's a handful right there, getting your lines together for movies, or even just getting your mood right for these movies and television shows and commercials. Now, that does go back to what you were saying. It's like homework. You have to get yourself prepared, because when you go on in front of a camera, they want you to get it right. And that's one thing I can say you have done. And that's another thing I do want to bring up at the same time, is about scoring. Now, how did it feel when you found out that movie came to DVD?
Well, it felt really good to know that a movie that I played, that I had the lead role in, was going to DVD. But I must say, and I'm not just saying it because I was a part of it, but Scorn is a really good movie. So if you haven't seen it, you definitely want to go and pick your copy up today.
Yes, and I second that. And one thing I can say is I have the movie on DVD, and I've seen the behind the scenes, and I saw the whole movie, and all of you was just so carefree and was just so relaxed throughout the movie. And you all kept that serious side, but you all were relaxed. Now, I do have to say this on the side. Big shout-out to Nick Dalmacy for Scorn and Sins of the Wicked and everything else he's done. Big shout-outs to you at the same time, Tawanda, for taking this role, and you brought this movie to a level where it shines. And that's one thing that I do like about this whole situation. Can you tell us a time when you was behind the scenes, like the atmosphere, as far as it goes for the behind the scenes at Scorn? How was that?
It was nice. We had apartments, and then after we actually stayed in the apartment, so that was good because I was able to make it like home, and I enjoyed it. It was some times when it was cold. It was a scene that we had to do, and it was cold outside. But the same thing with Sins of the Wicked, it was another scene where it was cold outside, and we had to do it. So those are not really, I wouldn't say that would be, a good thing as far as, being cold and having to do a movie. But at the same time, it comes with the territory, because it's times when, it's a scene where it may be a summer scene, but it's cold outside. So you have to make it look like it's hot outside, even though it's not hot outside. So it just comes with the territory. But overall, great experience. Wow.
And talking about Sins of the Wicked, I remember when you was outside and you was doing your scene in the front yard, and it felt like it was 0-degree weather because you had this long dress on, and I know you was shivering at one time, but when it was time for you to do your role, you just knocked it right out of you, and you just went straight on to it. And you are a straight-up trooper and a warrior for that. So I applaud you on that also. You really did your thing. Yes, all right. Most definitely. What is your ultimate goal in that?
I would say my ultimate goal is to get another lead role. Like I said before, I didn't want to act before, and I learned a lot from doing scoring. So I think with the experience that I had from that, and, along with some of the other things that I have done since then, that has helped me to be a better actress. And I know that I would be able to, I would do a better job if I had the opportunity to do another lead role. And also something that I always wanted to do or dreamed of is being on a soap opera. So that would be my ultimate goal when it comes to acting.
Now, Tawanda, I'm going to put you on the spot on this situation. Now, if you were actually in a soap opera, what role or what character and what show would you pick?
As far as a character, I guess my character would have to be one that would actually, come in. You know how they have new people coming on. But
Right.
I'll say Bold and the Beautiful. And the only reason why I say Bold and the Beautiful is because that's the only one I look at currently. The reason why, because it's only 30 minutes long. I usually record it, and by the time I fast forward through commercials, it ends up being 15 minutes. And that's really the only time that I have. I don't really have much time to look at TV. So whenever I have, a moment, that's normally what I do. And it's normally right before bed. Like, I'll get in bed, and then I'll just go, back to, the recording, and I'll look at it. So, yeah, I would say Bold and the Beautiful.
Wow. Okay. So are you one of those women where you're watching something, it could be a movie or a soap opera, and something happened and you yell out, "Girl, you shouldn't have went through that door," or "I can't believe you just did that"? Are you one of those type of women to do that?
Yeah, I must say, yeah, I am that girl.
Well, I think that's a lot of women actually does that because they actually bring the show into reality. So I could see you actually doing a soap opera because you'll probably ask yourself, why in the world I just do that? And, you're part in the acting, and you'll bring it to reality. So that's a great thing. Now,
well, hopefully
Tawanda
we'll see
Auston,
me one day on a soap opera.
Hopefully we will see you one day on the soap opera.
All right, I like
No
that.
hope.
I like that.
Now, we have heard a base trim of your acting career. You are a great actress, but you are more than just an actress, Tawanda. Now, let's talk about some of your side projects that you have going on. Now, I know you mentioned it earlier, but let's talk about this fashion show. Tell us more about the fashion shows that you conducted and been in.
Well, I'll start off by saying I have actually helped with a lot of fashion shows. I have been on a lot of fashion shows, such as Charlotte Fashion Week, Baltimore Fashion Week, Atlanta Fashion Week. I was a model coach for Nelson Arrington Complete. I've done Women's Empowerment, Knights of Egypt. I've done some modeling for Wet Seal, Delia's. So I've done a lot of different fashion shows, and I've always wanted to have my own show. And after model coaching and helping other people, I decided, since I opened up my business, that I would have my own show. So I did my first show last year, and I had a designer come from Atlanta, 2 from Virginia, and I had 2 local designers, and I also had ballroom dancers to come from New York. It was very successful, and especially considering it was my first show, I actually had people that came to my show and then went to another show and said my show was better. And this was, not trying to toot my own horn, but this was actually people that have been doing shows for a while, and I had people come to me say that my show was better. So that really meant a lot. That was definitely a compliment. And, I try, whatever I do, I try to do my best. And like I said, after being on a lot of shows and, helping with a lot of shows, it kind of helped me to, know the do's and the don'ts, what I want in my show, what I don't want in my show. Actually, I have a show coming up on June 28th. It's going to be at Wilson Agriculture Center at 7 p.m. You can go online and get your tickets now. The website is www.5touchspa.com. There's actually a link for the fashion show, actually a fashion show tab. And once you go up under that, there's like other, it's a flyer that's going to be first thing you see, which has the model registration. So anyone who wants to model, you can actually go and register. We also have vendor applications, sponsor applications, and also a link for 5 Touch Scholarship Fund, and that's going to anyone who wants to pursue a career in cosmetology, aesthetics, nail technician, or massage therapy. And that doesn't mean you have to necessarily work for 5 Touch. I would love to have you, but basically for anyone who's going in that field.
Wow. So women, I hope you all hear this out here. So, open opportunity. Come on through, get your craft, get your trade. And you heard Ms. Auston. She would love to have you. That don't mean you have to work for her, but, hey, her door is open. Now, also at the same time, that's right. Now, also, Ms. Auston, now with the fashion show, is your show do you have your shows set differently? Like one is for plus-size models, one is for your traditional average-size models, one for kids, one for seniors. How do you actually conduct your fashion shows?
I'm glad you asked me that because this year I'm going to have something for everybody. I'm going to have male and female. It's going to start off with the kids. So I do have a kids design, actually a kid boutique that's going to be that's going to have clothes for the kids. And then I also have plus-size models. So it's going to start from kids on up to plus-size, male and female. So I'm looking forward to this show, like I said, because it's going to give everybody the opportunity that has a desire to model. And I'm also going to have a live band this year. So instead of having a DJ, I'm going to have a live band, which I think is going to bring something else to the table as well, because the band is awesome. And I can actually, like, I could go to a show and watch this band and nothing else, and that would just be my entertainment. And, you know,
wow.
With my show, I'm going to have the band plus the models. Then I'm also going to have dancers, and even I'll say the same thing about the dancers. I can just go and watch them. I actually did go and watch a show that the dancers did, and it was just the dancers for a whole 2 hours, and I enjoyed it.
Really?
So you are definitely in for a treat. Go ahead and get your tickets online right now because it is definitely going to be a night of celebration.
Wow. And it seems like it's almost double or triple the entertainment because you got the modeling, you have the band, you have the dancers. Now, where's this band coming from? Where are they located?
They're actually coming from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes, most definitely. Now, Tawanda, I hope I'm invited to the show.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. I expect to see you there, definitely.
Yes, most definitely. Now, we heard about the fashion show. Now, let's talk about more about your spa. Where's your spa located at?
My spa is located in Wilson at 2403 B and D, Wootton Boulevard. I actually started off at B with 3 salon rooms, and I had 3 stylists, and I had 1 treatment room. And that treatment room, actually, we did everything in the treatment room, from facials to massages. So basically it was like 3 people sharing that room. And then I had a little area for, like, manicures and pedicures. Then it started getting really busy. I started, having other people inquire about, employment at 5 Touch. So I had to purchase another unit. So now the treatment room has turned into a stylist room. And then I have another side, which is Unit D, which has a couples massage room, a nail technician room, and it also has an aesthetics room. So basically all of the rooms are bigger now, and we could do more. So that means more clients and, more people working. So we're actually able to do more services. And it is a one-stop shop. So basically you come, you get your manicure, your pedicure, get a facial, microderm, peel, body treatment, waxing service. You can also, get your massage and you can get your hair done. So basically you get everything done there to go anywhere else. And I actually close for the fashion show day. That's the only day that we really close. We don't have any set hours, but we do close for the models on the days that we have the fashion show. And I figure, that would be a good fit because when I, was doing fashion shows, sometimes I would have to go here to get my nails done, here to get my hair done, here to get my makeup done. So now, whenever I have fashion shows, the models just meet at the spa, get their nails done and get everything done right there, and then, we go to the venue, and that's how we do it. One-stop shop.
Wow. I mean, you brought the whole game into one spot, and you can't beat that. That's one thing you can't beat. Now, we're almost running out of time soon, but before we do let you go, Ms. Auston, I have to ask you this. What advice would you give any males or females that want to become an actor or actress or become an entrepreneur?
I would say you could do anything you want to do if you believe you can do it and if you put in the work, because the only thing that is stopping you is you. My motto is what God has for me is for me. If it's meant for me, I'm going to have it, and it's nothing no one can do about it. And if God doesn't want it for me, I don't want it anyway. So I'll say go for it, whatever it is. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. You just go for it, and you can do it. You can have it. You can be it.
Wow. That's strong words. To God be the glory for that. You are a very blessed woman, Miss Austin. I will say that because you have conquered a lot, you have done a lot, and you didn't give up. And look where it brought you to. I mean, from a one-word role that you was looking for instead of just standing there in the background to a lead actress, and now you have your own salon and doing fashion shows. I mean, the sky's the limit for you. I can see that. Well, actually, no, I take that back. The sky is not the limit because there's no limit for when you have your mind set to anything. Now,
exactly, and the best is yet to come.
You got that right, and I will be staying tuned to you to see what's going on. There's also one more thing, if you don't mind. Are there any people from any previous movies or anything that you still stay in contact with?
Well, I still stay in contact with most of the actors and actresses from Scorn. And then also Dana Williamson, that's my best friend, and she was actually in Sins of the Wicked too. So that was good because even though we didn't have a scene together, we have always wanted to work on a project together. So that was kind of cool.
Big shout-out for Dana. I know you're listening. Big shout-outs to you. Okay. Yes, most definitely. All right. Well, one thing I can say is, once again, everybody, check out Scorn. Check out Sins of the Wicked. If you have to, Google Tawanda Auston. See can you find, and you will, find her commercials, find her movies she's been in, her shows. Look at it because this woman is on the rise, and she's not about to stop anytime soon. So,
yes, and
Tawanda, I want to say
.com as well to find, to look at reels and video clips from different things that I've done.
Wow. Girl, you are all over the internet. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I want to say thank you very much for everything that you have came on the show, and you have given a lot of people a lot of information how you started and where you're at now. And that's one thing that I can say. You are on the rise, and I see you're not about to stop no time soon. And I want to say thank you again for being. Oh, yes, and thank you again for being on the show. And can you tell everyone around where they officially got their scoop?
Right here on the Big Scoop with Coop.
That's right. Okay, guys, until next time, thank you very much. And you all have a great day.
You too. Thank you.